Am I the asshole for blowing up on my husband over a prank? My F25 husband M27 is into pranks. I know this since we met. He goes too far with his pranks and thinks it's funny. Some of his family members are like him. They either do it together or against each other. No harm in few laughs, but their pranks aren't funny and tend to be hurtful, to be honest. My husband went too far with his pranks a few times, like when he pretended that he forgot the keys to our house after the wedding. Or when he took me to another restaurant for our engagement party. We were supposed to meet the family there, but I was surprised no one came. I found out it was a prank. The entire family thought it was funny. I didn't. We just had our first baby boy a month ago. I really thought that my husband finally decided to focus on important things in life, and he's been helping a lot, to be honest. He goes out to the pharmacy, supermarket, buys groceries, makes breakfast, and takes care of cleaning the bathroom, bedroom. Then he watches our son while I sleep or shower or have friends over. Some of my friends think I'm lucky my husband understands and helps out, unlike others. That's not entirely true. Last week, he stopped helping with the baby suddenly and was looking upset and just avoided me for 2 days. I honestly had no idea what was going on. I tried to talk to him, but he refused to say what was wrong until I snapped. He told me his mom said that our baby doesn't really look like him and suggested that he secretly do a DNA test. I was speechless. He said he did it without making me notice and got the results 2 days ago, and it turned out our son isn't his and that he'll be moving out of the house and will contact an attorney in the morning. I swear I felt a ton of anger and confusion, but I stood there speechless. He said he didn't want to argue nor hear an explanation. I knew something was very off with his reaction because he usually isn't that calm and would definitely throw a fit in scenarios that are serious. I called him a liar clearly and demanded to see the test result that he did behind my back. He stalled until he suddenly bursted into laughter. I was dumbfounded. He kept saying that I got pranked and kept laughing at the face I made. He then, after seeing how pissed I looked, started apologizing to me, telling me to relax, it was a prank. Then he said that his cousin was in on it and was the mastermind of this plan. His cousin is a jerk. He's 20 and acts like 13. His parents are suffering from his behavior too. I blew up on my husband for what he did and called him a jerk to think pulling a stupid prank like that is funny. I told him to stop being childish while I'm being exhausted from doing everything alone in those 2 days. He said my reaction was major and told me to relax. I immediately sent his cousin a very nasty email explaining that I'm struggling with a newborn while he's trying to be funny and cruel to suggest something like that. My husband said I shouldn't have lashed out at his cousin, and I told him off after he mentioned that I apologize. To add, I'm not talking to him at the moment. I don't even answer questions he asks me about chores since he's now doing the cleaning and cooking. I'm handling our son's care. He complains that I'm overreacting and should just let it go. It's just a prank, but this what bothers me the most. He did apologize several times but didn't like that I lashed out at his cousin. Holy shit, not the asshole. I am shaking with anger for you, Op. Your husband was deliberately cruel to you 4 weeks after childbirth. You are still physically healing from a major medical procedure on top of having to deal with all the hormonal changes of giving birth. This is not a prank. This is abuse. Your husband is 27 years old and taking advice from a 20-year-old, which is in a problem of itself. You have 2 options: couples counseling ASAP or divorce. It is ultimatum time. Your husband has repeatedly hurt you on purpose multiple times and thinks it's funny. Unless you want a child to grow up thinking it's okay to treat others this way, you have to demand change. Not the asshole. If a guy put me through 2 days of the silent treatment and emotional distress for laughs, I'd be rethinking everything even without a kid involved. He thinks your distress is funny. He thinks you wondering what's wrong is a barrel of laughs. This is the definition of asshole, and you wouldn't be at all wrong to protect yourself and your kid, who will soon be a target. Imagine him telling your kid you died because he thinks it'll be so funny. Not the asshole. That's not a prank, that's a stress-inducing lie. Have you noticed that he tends to pull these pranks under circumstances when you are already stressed or tired? Nobody thinks it's funny to lose keys on your wedding day, or to go to the wrong restaurant with a 1-month-old in tow. He said my reaction was major and told me to relax. How are you supposed to relax when he keeps doing immature things to agitate you? He wanted a reaction and he got one, but guess what? His pranks aren't funny, so it's not the reaction he was hoping for. He literally prioritized a prank over the well-being of you and your child for 2 days. Not to mention lacked complete awareness of how his punchline might damage you or your relationship with him. He needs a wake-up call. Not the asshole. Why don't you prank him and divorce him, but for real? What he's doing is emotionally abusive and you should probably start taking steps to protect yourself and your kid. Not the asshole. Wow. There is no planet in the galaxy where you are the asshole here. Your husband's behavior is immature at best and borderline abusive at worst. The fuck is wrong with him? He is bullying his own wife? Unfortunately, unless there is a firm boundary, this behavior will keep going on. I am not sure how you can set a boundary with someone like this, because it sounds like the best part of the joke for him is seeing how upset you are. It's time for a serious as a heart attack conversation about how his sadistic jokes have gone on long enough. Another thing, your husband watching his infant son and doing his share of the chores does not make you lucky, as your friends say. That is simply what grown-ups do. JFC, the standards are so low. Not the asshole. This isn't a prank. A prank is something both parties think is funny in the end. Some mild annoyance is okay, but never something that could uproot your life so fast like this. Both the cousin and the husband deserved a reality check and a talking to. Not the asshole. Those aren't pranks. He isn't pretending to mistreat you, he's actually mistreating you. He's being a total abusive asshole, not to mention neglectful parent, and then just using, it's just a joke, to gaslight you for being mad about it. This isn't a prank, this is emotional abuse. My family grew up pranking each other due to the masterminding of my mother. It was narcissistic, passive-aggressive, and toxic as hell. Your husband needs to grow the fuck up and stop this shit like yesterday. I am so sorry this happened, and he needs to get on the right side of this today. I'm still fucked up due to the hijinks of my mother's jokes. I'm still remembering things she got me to do, and at the time I thought it was funny. I have to catch myself when I'm talking to my sisters so I don't keep perpetuating the harm by running the same old family jokes. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. I'd make it very clear you no longer want to be involved in any of his pranks as you find them stressful and hurtful and not in any way funny. If it had just been him coming home one day looking serious and then immediately getting to the punchline, it would be annoying, sure, but not that big a deal. My partner does that once in a while. I'd have rolled my eyes, called him an idiot and moved on. But after 2 days of moping and not communicating and not helping out, they'd never find the body. Not the asshole. What will you do when he pulls a prank like this and breaks your child's heart to be funny? This is not anywhere near appropriate as a joke. Unfortunately, if his reaction is to downplay your hurt and accuse you of a major reaction, then I doubt he will see the light. A reasonable person, upon seeing that a joke they made in an attempt to be funny was actually hurtful to a loved one, would be falling over themselves, apologizing and trying to make it right. His belittling of your response is far more concerning than the horrible prank he played, which was an absolutely horrible thing to do to somebody. Not the asshole. I'm almost tempted to suggest that you tell him the kid isn't his and then ask why he's so upset over your prank when he freaks out, except that wouldn't solve anything. This goes way beyond childishness, though, and you need to put your foot down that not only are you done allowing him to treat life milestones as an opportunity to see how thoroughly he can humiliate you, you're not moving on from this until he's able to articulate why he ever thought that was okay and why you should be able to trust that it won't happen again. That means counseling, and if he won't go, then seriously think about whether you want to be dealing with this for the rest of your life. Not the asshole. What in the actual fucks did I just read? I don't see how your husband in any way should have thought that was funny. I hope you are okay and maybe serve him with fake divorce papers in response to his joke and see how he feels. But I'm petty AF. Not the asshole. Serve him divorce papers, as a prank. Not the asshole. Anything that would destroy someone's life if it were true isn't really good fodder for a prank. You're not the asshole here. Maybe once he's cooled off, you could try to explain why this was a very serious thing and why pranks are confuse, not abuse. Not the asshole. Your husband is beyond an a-hole and is an abusive, manipulative, abhorrent person. Not only did he make up a lie about the DNA test, but he ignored you for 2 days ahead to play into his prank. Why in the world are you with him? Contact a lawyer and get the F out. Everyone sucks here. He is a moron, but he was a moron when you decided to marry and have kids with him, so you kind of knew what you were getting into. Not the asshole. That's gross. Are you sure you want this in your life? That's a damaging joke. Jokes require everyone be in on the punchline. The punchline was your hurt and confusion, therefore that's not a joke. That's bullying. Not the asshole. Pranks aren't funny if the person they're played on isn't laughing by the end. Nobody in the history of the world has ever de-escalated a situation by telling someone else to relax. Your husband is an abusive asshole. You should show him the responses here. He deserves to know how awful we all think he is. You know he sucks when not even one Redditor is willing to see his side. Like, even in the land of trolling and dick jokes, nobody thinks that dude is funny. That might get through to him. Not the asshole at all. He left you alone with your newborn for 2 days for no reason. I think it's 2 business cards time. One for a marriage counselor and the other for a divorce attorney. These aren't pranks. This is emotional abuse. Tell him to pick one. And that if he refuses, then you'll pick and it won't be the counselor. Will have time with his child be funny? Will the loss of his marriage be humorous? If he's anything but 100% apologetic, then you'll learn a lot about his character. I'm so sorry this happened to you. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. In my opinion, pranks about infidelity are never funny. The effects of infidelity are absolutely traumatic and it really fucks with your sense of trust in other people. The fact that he makes light of it and proceeds to gaslight you about it when you are justifiably hurt and angered by his accusations is extremely troubling to me. Secondly, pranks are only funny when they don't violate any boundaries. The fact that he has repeatedly crossed the line with his pranks makes me think that he has never respected you in the first place. Not the asshole. Pranks are supposed to be funny. If you don't find them funny, then they aren't pranks, they're bullying. Tell him if he pulls this shit again you'll kick him out, or go stay with a family member or something. He goes out to the pharmacy, supermarket, buys groceries, makes breakfast and takes care of cleaning the bathroom, bedroom. This isn't saint-like behavior. This is what all fathers and husbands should do to support their wives. It certainly shouldn't be proof of how good he is, it's literally the bare minimum. All too often, pranksters are using the term to justify their abuse. He knows you don't like the pranks. He continues to not only target you, but escalate the severity of his jokes. The stress, confusion, and fear you feel as an adult, being subjected to his unbalanced nonsense is nothing compared to what you child will feel having such a tone-deaf, clueless, and cruel person as a parent. Therapy ASAP. New rules. Pranks are only funny if everyone at the end is laughing. His jokes target, humiliate, confuse, and upset you. Therefore they are not funny. If he can't shape up and quit being an insensitive and abusive asshole, you should leave. And #X200B. Not the asshole. Info. Why the hell did you marry him if he's been like this all along? NTA. But, and I say gravely, need to either see a marriage counselor or a divorce. Not the asshole. If he thinks this is funny, I'd consider responding in kind. Print out generic divorce papers. Get a friend from work to serve him. Visit mom for a day or 2 with newborn. But if you don't want to go that route, time for a session or 2 of couples therapy. This shit needs to stop today. Not the asshole. If this is real, they are horrible people to make pranks like this. Not the asshole. But why did you marry him knowing what he is like? Wait until he starts pranking your kid. Not the asshole. Prank him back with divorce papers. Whether they are real or fake is up to you. Not the asshole. His prank wasn't funny and your reaction was 100% understandable. What's not clear is why your husband thought the 3 minutes of entertainment he got out of his prank was worth 2 days of cold indifference to his son and wife. What's next? A prank where he tells you he lost the baby at the supermarket. Not the asshole. He makes me so angry. He's a goddamn father, and he's still pulling shit like this? Please, for the sake of your baby, sit him down and tell him this has gone too far. Nothing about that was funny, shown by the fact he was the only one who laughed. Pranks are supposed to be harmless, but this could literally tear apart a marriage. I mean, 2 whole days of ignoring you? For a prank? God above. Not the asshole. Pranks are bullying disguised as humor. Not the asshole, and I'd leave him a note saying, I've run off with _ insert someone he knows name _ and I am leaving you and never coming back. And just go on holiday by yourself for like 2 days to relax and then come back, and when he gets mad say, oh, I thought you liked pranks? It's just a prank. Why not funny, is it? Not the asshole. Marriage counselor or a meeting with a divorce attorney. His choice. This mental abuse is unacceptable. It is mental abuse. Not the asshole. Sounds like an excuse to not help with the baby. Also, do you think your husband might have been suspicious that you were having an affair and this prank is his way of seeing whether he's right? It's unacceptable, though. Not the asshole, but your husband sure is. Pranks are funny if all sides find them funny. What he's doing is straight up mean. There is something wrong with him if he thinks any of this is funny. Not the asshole. Sorry seems like you have 2 babies in your life. Husband has a sick sense of humor. Did he even apologize? Does he understand what harm this could have done? Not the asshole. Jesus Christ, your husband sucks. I know Reddit likes to jump on the leave him bandwagon, but honestly, I think they're right this time. At the very least, either go to marriage counseling or take some time apart and work out if this is how you want the rest of your life to go, and how you want your child's life to go. I don't think I could come back from this even if I wasn't 1 month postpartum. What a raging asshole this man is. Not the asshole, but you married and had a baby with this guy knowing he had the maturity of a 12-year-old boy. I don't know what you expected. I feel the worst for your baby. Not only are you guys socially dysfunctional, but if you do get a divorce, that's gonna be a really unfortunate situation for your kid. Rough. Regardless, not the asshole. NTA, that's a horrific prank. That's frankly not a prank. If he wants to be viciously cruel as he pranks, he should choose only people like his cousin who share that sense of twisted humor. Making you the target of it is atrocious. Not the asshole, and I feel so sorry for your son, and all the pranks his own father is going to pull on him, throughout his childhood. What an awful environment to grow up in. Not the asshole. Why don't you prank him back with divorce papers? Not the asshole. He caused you pain and misery for his own amusement. He thought it was funny that you were hurt. You deserve better than someone like that. Not the asshole, but you might want to take him up on that offer to see a divorce attorney. Not the asshole, making you do all the work for 2 days. Ruining 2 days with worrying what might be wrong with him. And then top it all off with this. That's just extremely selfish. To be honest, I wouldn't even know what to say or how to go forward. This would be really serious for me. Life is goddamn short, and definitely far too short for this drama. Does he not realize that he is hurting you, or does he just not care? Over goddamn nothing. I mean, if you two had a conflict, it would be different, but in this situation he is basically laughing about you worrying. Not the asshole. A key factor in something being a prank is that when the person being pranked finds out, they think it is funny as well. He isn't pranking you, he is just being cruel. You cited a lot of examples, but have you had a serious conversation with him about how his behavior affects you? Honestly, it may be time for couples therapy, considering how long this kind of stuff has been going on. It's not a joke if not everyone is laughing. What he did was deliberately cruel, and when you're looking back on it, he'll be laughing at your discomfort while you'll just be reliving his abuse. Tell him that in fact the baby isn't his because he's not mature enough to produce sperm or be a partner. You are not the asshole, but seriously, this is a huge red flag, and you should re-evaluate whether you want to stay with someone who thinks it's funny to do this kind of thing to you. Not the asshole. I hate pranks so much. That would cause me so much anxiety and I would have problems trusting him.